What happens when a woman spends 7 years building her husband's company, gives birth to his child, and then comes home from the hospital to find another woman sitting in her seat, wearing her clothes, carrying her necklace, and slowly taking her place in every room of her life? Today we're breaking down a Chinese drama about Shen Wan, a woman whose marriage quietly unravels around her while she's still inside it, and the moment she stops waiting for an explanation and starts dismantling everything her husband thought was safe. The story opens with Shen Wan, returning from the hospital with her newborn. The woman sitting in her car is Xin, her husband Gu Huai's university junior, newly appointed as his assistant. She is wearing Shen Wan's dress. She is sitting in Shen Wan's seat. Gu Huai explains this away with the kind of practiced ease that suggests he has explained things away before. She needed a ride. She borrowed a dress. It's nothing. But nothing is never nothing. The first scene announces the drama's central architecture. A man who keeps reassigning his wife's things to another woman while insisting both are meaningless. The pattern escalates methodically. The pearl necklace worth 5 million, the one meant for their 7th wedding anniversary, ends up around Shin's neck instead, sent to Shen Wan as a consolation gift. When confronted, Gu Huai's response is not remorse, but irritation. He explains that Shin was embarrassed on his behalf at a dinner, so he gave her the necklace to smooth it over. It doesn't occur to him that this explanation makes things worse, not better, because in his mind the two women occupy completely different categories of importance. He is wrong about this in every direction. The office is the next move. Shen Wan returns from maternity leave to find Xin occupying her space as vice president, seated behind her desk, having apparently signed a 5 billion yuan contract with a major client. Gu Huai's position is that the office was empty, and Xin was productive. And Shen Wan is being unreasonable. The drama knows exactly what it's doing with this scene. The progressive occupation of a wife's physical space is not subtle symbolism. It is the story told plainly. What makes Shen Wan interesting as a character is that she is not hysterical and she is not passive. She is watching, she is building. When the anniversary wine she had been saving since pregnancy gets knocked over and Shin offers to replace it with 2 new bottles, Shen Wan's response is to name a price of 1 million per bottle. Not because she expects payment, because she wants everyone in the room to understand that there is no replacing what has been taken, and that the people trying to minimize the damage are doing so because they already know how serious it is.
The child is not Gu Huai's.
She says this knowing it will detonate everything, and it does. His family, his composure, his certainty that however badly he has behaved, the marriage and its child remain his anchors. What the drama reveals later is that this was her choice, not her secret. She had been told years earlier that she couldn't conceive naturally. Rather than tell Gu Huai, she arranged a donor pregnancy herself, carrying the child as his without his knowledge. When he treats her with contempt, she uses that information as a blade. The move is extreme, but the drama frames it carefully. It is not malice. It is a woman who has been absorbing damage for years and finally deploys the one piece of information that can cut through his self-assurance completely. And Shin's character is a study in the particular kind of manipulation that presents itself as innocence. She frames every confrontation as an accident, every act of displacement as carelessness. She positions herself as the one caught in the middle while systematically occupying every position Shen Wan holds. The drama gives her enough clarity of motive that the audience understands what Gu Huai refuses to, that the helpless junior is not helpless, and the boundary violations are not accidental. Her eventual exposure comes not through dramatic accusation, but through documentation, fabricated academic credentials, stolen company intelligence, a sustained campaign to ensure that Shen Wan's marriage and career collapse simultaneously. The business dimension runs parallel to the personal one. Shen Wan is the actual power behind Gu Huai's company. She has been the controlling stakeholder of the acquisition group that kept his company afloat, operating quietly under a separate identity. When the marriage ends, and she withdraws her backing, his company enters freefall within hours. Stock prices collapse, contracts evaporate. Gu Huai stands in the wreckage of a company he believed was his, built by a woman he underestimated at every turn. Realizing only now that the confidence he mistook for arrogance was competence he never bothered to see. His mother's arc offers the drama's most pointed moral accounting. She has known for years that Shen Wan was exceptional, that she worked quietly to protect the family and the company without demanding recognition, that her heart condition was something she managed in private, rather than use for sympathy. When Gu Huai's behavior finally reaches her, the speech she delivers to her son is not performed anger. It is grief, the grief of a mother who understands that her child threw away something irreplaceable and that no amount of regret will reconstruct what was lost. At its core, this story asks what love actually costs the person who refuses to be seen. Shen Wan gave Gu Huai 7 years of quiet work, a company she built from behind his name, a child she carried alone, and the kind of steady devotion that looked like ordinary marriage because she never announced it. She was never recognized for any of it. The question the drama poses is not whether she should have spoken up sooner, it's why a woman should have to perform her worth to someone who chose her. And what it means when the answer turns out to be that she was worth more than he ever understood while he still had her.